Willie D. Live.
In the studio, Flex Alexander.
What's up, man?
What's up, King?
Hey, man, everything is good, brother.
Man, it is so good to see you, man. We was just talking about basketball.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if people really understand, man. You a dog on that basketball court.
Yeah, man. I used to have fun out there. You know, I played high school, played 2 years of college, man. My dream was to go to the NBA, but, you know, partied my way out of school and, you know, came back home and just ended up into dancing and hip-hop, man. It changed my life.
How did you party your way out of basketball?
You know, you get to a school and you're like, wait a minute, I can, you know, it's up to me if I got to go to class. You know what I mean? Like,
no, what school was this?
Chasing St. Augustine, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Man, man, you be flying. I'm talking about just taking off. And you think you could have won one of those dunk contests?
At that point, probably, because, you know, I had some hops, man. I had some hops for a while. I was dunking up until I was about 46. And then the next year I went. I never had bad knees. Yeah. It just went away. I went to try to jump one day. They just wasn't there no more. Couldn't get it no more. I was like, it's time to shoot jump shots now.
Right.
And everybody I know, I got friends now, you know, in their 50s, you know, playing in these 50 and older leagues, you know, popping Achilles. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all, man?
Huh.
Golf is the game now.
Yeah.
Golf is the game. Yes.
Yeah, man. They've been kept trying to get me out on that golf course, man. I know I need to get out there.
You got to do it.
There's so much to do out there.
You got to do it.
So much to gain by just being out there.
It's so much to the game of golf. It's besides the physical. People look at the physical and say, "Oh, it's stupid. You're just hitting a little white ball around." But no, you're playing against the course. You're playing against yourself, mentally, temperament. You know what I mean? Are you going to play fair? Are you going to, you know, put down the right score? Are you not? Like, it's a character game. It's you know, you spend 5 hours out there with a group of people, and you find out a lot about people during that time. So golf is deep.
Yeah.
Plus the nature.
Man, you know what else is deep is that role. That role you play in the play, New Jack City.
Yeah.
Man, that role is deep, and it caught me off guard. I would have never thought that you could play a good crackhead. Yeah. You know, like, I know you can act. You know, obviously you're an actor, but I never man. This could actually be, you know, a multiple choice, like your favorite New Jack City crackhead. Which one is your favorite Pookie? Who did Pookie the best? That was some good stuff, man.
Thank you, man.
How much of that was improv?
A lot of, you know, the funny stuff was improv. I try to keep the you know, the integrity of whatever the scene, you know, calls for the scene. But of course I'm gonna throw my flair in it, you know, have some jokes in there. But you know, coming from that experience, coming from New York, coming up where I had, you know, two of my brothers on crack, you know, a mom that was a functioning cocaine addict, so I got to see it up close and personal. So those things, you know, I took into consideration. And, you know, like when Pookie is in his NA meeting and he's, you know, turning his life around, you know, I went to those meetings with my brothers. I went with my mother. I mean, I used to walk with my mom to the cocaine spot, you know what I mean, because I didn't want nobody to mess with her. So those things, I took with me, man, because I saw it up close, man. I saw what it did. This crack just destroyed, man, 85 when that joint hit, it destroyed just generations.
Yeah. Did your mom ever beat it?
Yeah. They all beat it. Yeah. You know, I lost one brother to AIDS, but they all beat it clean. They got 30-something plus years clean now. And, you know, my mom's 81. You know what I mean? My brother is turning 64, so, you know, I'm thankful.
So you got a brother 64? You the baby?
Yeah, I'm the baby. I'm the baby. Yeah.
Okay. What is that like? How many kids?
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. So my mom, my brothers, they had a different dad. So I had 3 brothers there and a sister. 2 of those brothers passed. So I got my one brother and my one sister. She lives in Florida. Then my dad had a whole another set of you know, kids, and I met one of my brothers. Well, I got two more brothers and another sister, and then I have a Puerto Rican brother and an Italian and black brother. So I don't know where they at. If you're out there, please look for me. And I met my brother Todd and Rob up in the projects. Man, I was playing basketball, and I had attitude. I'm doing my thing, and this dude said, "Man, yo, your attitude, man, you need to stop acting like that. You too cocky. You remind me of this dude Todd." And I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. So he kept saying it. So next week I come and he kept saying it. And he said, man, yo, man, I'm telling you, you look like this dude, man. I work with this dude, Rob, and his brother's Todd. And I said, well, my father's name was Robert. And he just said, this might be your brother. Gave me the number. I called. My brother Todd picked up. I said, yo, this Todd? I was like, yeah, I think I'm your brother. We went. I met him. And literally, it was like looking at, a mirror image. Like we call the ghetto twins. He was born March the same year. I was born April. So a month apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man,
So,
that's crazy.
yeah, it was deep, man. It was deep, but it was that connection I had to my father because he wasn't around. So and I always just longed for that connection to family. So I was happy.
You're married to Shanice.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How long have y'all been married?
February 2024 will be 24 years.
24 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were you ever married before?
No, never married before.
Is the reason that you're so dedicated to the marriage and committed to the marriage is because of how you long for that type of
I think
family
that's part of it, and especially with my kids. I have a 22-year-old daughter, 19-year-old son, and just not having that, and growing up without that, so I didn't have a instruction manual on, how to be a husband, how to be a father, how to do this, how to balance a household and all that. Although we work together as a team, it was a lot, and there's still things that you deal with it. I realize, because I take therapy and I have a therapist and talk, and it's things that I've learned that I've suppressed, that, as a man, you carry, this anger that I had, for a long time for my dad not being there. But then having to understand he had his own things going on, and I can't, hold that forever. I got to let that go. So for a lot of years, I held on to that anger. But moving forward to having kids and a family, I said I want to be able to give them something different, let them see something different. So it's been eye-opening for me, just the things that I unpacked, with therapy and just being a dad and just, just trying to do the best I can. Yeah.
When you talk about therapy, how often do you go to therapy?
I do it maybe twice a month. Maybe every 2 weeks I'll do it, twice a month, something like that.
Did you ever go to therapy and think to yourself, let me back up. Have you had the same therapist the entire time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so when you went in the first time, I'm assuming that you was like, yo, that was mind-blowing. Like, so you went back.
Yeah.
You went back for more.
Yeah.
Because I be thinking like, man, how can I cut out the middle, man? Man, just tell me what I need. Can you give me everything in one shot, man? So I ain't got to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Try to. Did you ever think that your therapist was probably trying to like string you along so you can get the money?
In the beginning, I was like, because they make everything sound so deep, make everything sound so existential and, all of this, self-discovery, I'm like, come on, man, I know who I am. But as you go along, you realize, you're starting to break down walls and break things down that you didn't know were there. And things, us especially as black men, I think a lot of us suppress. A lot of us go, man, I just tuck it over here. I can deal with that later. Let me just tuck it over here. And, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I don't regret any bit of it at all.
Your mom, do you believe that your mom is an amazing woman?
Oh, man, my mom is My mom is everything, man. My mom, I watched her work 2-3 jobs. Her and my grandmother, they raised us. Go through what she went through, addiction, abuse in relationships. Man, I watched so much, and she came through all of that with a smile. Never complained, never stopped, never gave up. It was a team. It was her and my grandmother, and it's funny because I used to play them against each other. My grandmother was the one who said no, but I knew I could go to my mom. She'll say yeah. I'll say, hey man, my friends are hanging out. My grandma said, no, you need to sit in your room and read. And I go to my mom, all my friends are outside. She ain't going outside. She got hip to that after a while. But they worked as a great team. My mom worked hard and honest. And I've just seen her go through a lot. So when I broke into the business and started to make it, whatever that means, be able to make money and all that, I just wanted to take care of her and my grandmother, and that's what I did up until, even when my grandmother passed. She didn't even know that I was taking care of all the bills and everything, because my grandmother never said anything. And she just was always grateful. And I just like, Mom, you deserve it. I wish I could do more, But she's great. Mom's is great.
So where do you get your fortitude from? Where do you get that positive trait that you have in you? Mm-hmm. Like you have a very calm spirit. Mm-hmm. You're a likable guy. You have seen a lot. Mm-hmm. I ain't seen what the guys have seen. I know. Yeah. You've been in Hollywood. Yeah. And, you've seen your mom fight addiction. Mm-hmm. Your dad wasn't around. Mm-hmm. So I know that there's had to be a lot of tough times. Mm-hmm. How did Flex maintain his sanity? How did you do that without falling off the cliff?
Man, I think it kind of goes back to that suppressing and like, okay, I'm gonna get through this. Yeah, it'll be all right. Like, I'm gonna get through this. I'll be all right. Like when my wife and I, our family did a reality show on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and about the struggles that we had gone through. And it wasn't because we were out balling and just spending money recklessly. I bought a bunch of real estate because I was taught that's smart. I'm going to pass this down to my kids, and they can pass it down to their kids, and so on and so forth. And we had to crash. And I think it was 2008. Lost everything. And even during that time, the sheriff and they came to the house. I was on my way to an audition, knocked on the door, told us we had 5 minutes to get our stuff. My wife called me, just crying. I'm like, what's going on? I turn around, I go back. Literally, they're standing there. We're grabbing stuff in bags. The kids were at school. And we literally went from there, and we went to a hotel, went to the Embassy Suites. Shout out for that free breakfast. We went to the Embassy Suites, and then we had a pastor at the time came, helped us out for that first week. And then I had shot a commercial, and then a couple of weeks later, like, that money started kicking in. So and then we had friends. We had friends that just really stepped in and helped, man. And we were able to take that money, get a place, rent a house, and get back on our feet. But even during all of that time, I was like, it's going to be all right. I always felt that because I've seen so much of the other side. Like, I'm like, this is nothing. My wife, she was a child star. They took care of her well. She grew up and she's seen struggle, but it affects her differently. She likes that security, and I just was like, it's gonna be all right. Don't worry. If you're gonna pray, then you can pray and worry at the same time. They cancel each other out. It's an oxymoron. So I just kept that attitude that it's gonna be all right and pushed through it, because I just felt like I've seen the bottom of the bottom. You know, sitting there and watching a brother smoke crack, or watching your mom getting high and walking your mom to the spot. Or when I lived in a shelter in Brooklyn and homeless, and I saw the bottom of the bottom, and I just felt like this was easy to get through. You know, if we could just stay focused, it's gonna be all right.